guess, Kennedy, another tough game, a couple of tough games in a row now, but you must be pretty relieved to come away with points there.
Relieved would be a very good descriptor. 3 very tough games this week. You could see that, fatigue was starting to settle in, and certainly we knew the Caps were going to come out with a different energy, knowing obviously the position they're in. Every game's vital for them, and no different to us. Every game's critical for us, and so I thought that we weathered a fairly physical game of rugby union pretty well by both teams. That was just the way it was allowed to be played, and I think both teams did their part to try and manipulate that to their advantage as best as we possibly could. So I can't credit the team enough for being able to play tough, playing through fatigue, and obviously, KG was pretty exceptional with 20 and 14, and it is the same. Just again, they just continue to find ways to rise above.
It was a game kind of made for Kelsey. Like the games that I feel like she really thrives in. Is it nice to sit back and watch her in action?
I'm obviously always in awe of a lot of the stuff she does, not just dealing with, being able to play in the moment and rise to all occasions and lead the team. Do it with fatigue. Sometimes, I did look at the time of the night. I thought, oh, well, goodness, I got almost everybody under 30 minutes. And I looked at that and thought, okay, well, that's probably good management from the staff's perspective as well. And I can't take credit for that. The assistant coach did a great job of continuing to rotate players. And so that dialogue was there. But yeah, no, goodness, it's tough. Gritty win. Gritty, probably not pretty.
We joke about it, Kels, but a bit of a different reception out there, I think, tonight. But nice to come away with the points.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know, I think there's been a lot of talk of the physicality in the league this year. And my understanding is it's FIBA standard, right? So it's that this is a sanctioned league. When the Opals go away and they play FIBA basketball, it's very physical. We saw that. Anyone who watched the Olympics, anyone who watches the World Cup. So I think the officials are doing the best job they can to officiate in a way that's going to prepare this league to be ready on the national level. International level. And that's what we want to be. We want to talk about ourselves as one of the best leagues in the world. Certainly top 3 is what we say. And so to officiate in a way that's able to prepare for that, I think that's what is happening out there. And I just try to do my best to adjust. About the reception, look, I'm not gonna lie, I was a bit surprised at the amount of boos I caught coming back here to Canberra. I really loved my time in Canberra. I hung 2 banners in the rafters and went to finals 4 years in a row at Canberra, so it was a bit surprising to hear that the amount of boos that were happening.
I heard them, Carly, talking to you pre-game about your season, and you just seem to be getting better and better. What is the secret? What's going on in that brain? It feels like you're getting better and better.
I think it's every defensive scheme is centered around the MVP of the league, which is Izzy Borlase, so then it makes it easy for everyone else.
What's it been like watching her, especially this week? Cap's probably going to be a bit of a better job on her tonight,
yep.
But she's just incredible.
She is, and I give Iz a ton of credit because who she was when she first came to Bendigo versus who she is now, from a basketball preparation standpoint, I'd say that's been her biggest area of growth. We had some really great one-on-one conversation early days about practicing tendencies, showing up for your teammates and things like that. And it wasn't necessarily because she didn't want to. It was more of just being in a position where I was able to explain it to her way that she understood the importance of what we needed from her and how big of a focus she was going to be all year for us. And so for her to rise to that occasion at 21 years old is just phenomenal. But I also think that it's not just about Iz, it's about the environment that all of this team has created for Izzy. She lives with Kelsey and Polly, and I think being away from home can be really daunting. And being away from family, you get homesick, there's a lot of things that can happen. And so I think the environment we've created here, where people can be their authentic selves, be a bit goofy, be a bit silly, be a bit awkward and funny, is probably the thing I'm most proud about, more so than the win-loss record. But I think the reality is when you can be your authentic self and you're not scared of failing and you're not scared of messing up and you know you're going to be safe and supported, you have a chance to be great. And so I think Izzy's taken that with both hands. I think Polly's done it. G's thriving. Meg's come out and had an awesome year. It can be hard for imports to adjust. Kelsey Reese has been incredible for us off the bench, probably a great candidate for 6th man of the year if you look at what she's done, if not breakout player. Yeah. Honestly, Dallas is doing a phenomenal job too, but if you look at what Kels has done, that's huge. And all in the absence of, Casey going down with a foot injury, Tolo getting pregnant, which is amazing for her. Now we've most likely lost Micah as well. Like, the adversity that we've shown this season, and then to be so young and be able to handle it the way they do, is just incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Could you have imagined, Kennedy, that when Tolo shared that great news, that your team would almost somehow get better without such a star of the game in there?
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily want to say I was surprised. I mean, we knew what we recruited when we brought these players in, and that's the reason why we brought them in, because we knew that they would be able to flourish under the leadership and the environment and program, right? And so, but just to see, I don't want to say they exceeded expectation. They exceed expectations, but they certainly just, these kids don't skip a beat, and they don't take days off. And when they do take days off, they're done with recovery and nutrition and, you know,
Every optional they show up for.
I mean, you know, every coach in this league works hard, I understand, but we're a busy staff, and that's what we want. We want to be busy. We're hoops junkies, right? We want to be around the game 24/7, and you know, this group have provided that opportunity for us to continue to work on our craft every day. And yeah, I just can't be any more proud of how this group pours in, how they continue to step up, and how they rise to occasions and deal with adversity and band together.
I also don't know if it's fair to say we got better when Tolo left. I think this was always going to be a group that, if we went about it the right way, was going to gel later in the season. So, because it was figuring out how the pieces fit and all that kind of stuff, and same with Case and Mike. Like, I don't know if it's necessarily that, because I know a huge part of the reason Kelsey's able to do what she's doing now is because she was going up against a 3-time Olympian who was playing some of her best basketball before she got injured too. So I think we'll never know. No. Because Tolo's moving on to bigger and better things, which is awesome. But yeah, I think there's started to be this narrative of like, we got better when she left, and I know that wasn't your intention, but I also feel like no one's better not having Tolo.
Yeah, absolutely.
In my opinion.
Maybe we were prepared to take opportunity,
yeah.
and that's probably certainly the best way we can describe it.
Your run home, Kennedy, you get Geelong next, and then you get I think Townsville, and then Perth.
Other way, yep.
Yeah.
Geelong.
Yep.
Yes, we got Geelong Friday, Perth Sunday, and then we go up to Townsville. Yep.
Townsville the following Sunday.
Can you guys talk a little bit about, like heading into the finals, battling those two other top teams, competing for that number one spot, and how excited are you guys to go into the finals, going against the toughest teams?
Yeah, I think it's a great run home from us, because it's like you want to be playing the best teams, and Geelong is a scary team. Like if they had their full roster all season, I think Alyssa Pilley's like an absolute beast, and she would have done sensationally in this league. So I think that run home is going to be really tough for us. Another quick turnaround, which is great because finals and I think for our group, this was a great opportunity too. So many games in such a short turnaround, because that's finals like. So I was like, this is a great chance for us to prepare. Very little practice time. It's film. It's executing in a shoot around and then going out and being able to translate it to a game. And because a lot of us on the team haven't been there before, it's really, I think, focusing on the process of it all. I know it sounds cliche, but if we get too outcomes focused or too worried about things that are out of our control, that's when a lot of like insecurities start to creep in, or you start stressing or doubting because there's just so much out of your control and stressing about things. So for us, it's living with the results. If we go in, we say, this is what we want to do personnel-wise, this is what we want to do scout-wise, this is how we want to execute offensively, and we don't win the game, we can live with that if we execute that way, And that's the reality of finals, because there's going to be great teams and great players playing, and great players make great plays in finals. And so I think being able to just trust in the process and then make adjustments, and we'll have to do that coming here down the stretch. So I think, and it's hard to beat teams 3 times, so I think, it'll be, I'm proud of how we've showed up so far.
Anyone from the Zoom?
Yeah, hey Kennedy, it's just Seb from AAP. Just got one question for you. Obviously we know Casey Samuels is expected back kind of in February. That's kind of in the rough timeline. Do you kind of have any updates on her and the timeline of her return?
No, look, I mean, the February timeline, obviously we'd love to have her back anytime as to any of our players. As far as what that timeline looks like, so much of it's dependent on different stages of return to train, return to play protocol. And so right now, I think the February timeline is the absolute best case scenario that we're able to tick all those boxes and pass fitness and so forth. I mean, for us, as much as we'd love to have Case back and any of our players, it's ensuring that when we put them back on the floor, it's for long-term play, not just for short-term gains. So the medical staff and the performance team, they'll do a great job of making sure that's all set up. I mean, she's making great progress already as far as her loading and what she's doing on court. I mean, Casey's as tough as they get, and I know that there's a huge amount of desire and hunger to want to get back, and you know, who wouldn't want to come back and play for this team if there's a potential hope. So, look, the team, myself, and the staff will continue to work hard to set her up for, hopefully, a return to play at some point in February. If that happens, fantastic. If it doesn't, what we're going to have, she's already signed for next year. She's on a 2-year deal. We're going to have an even bigger and better Casey for the following season.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario.
And player welfare is so important for us. As much as we'd love Casey back on court, Casey has a lot of years left in her, so we don't want to rush her back on the sake of, you know, we need her, absolutely, but not at the price of her longevity. So, yeah, our medical staff does a really good job, so making sure that's the priority.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. That's all I have.
Only one question, mate. Good effort tonight, and plenty of positives coming from that game tonight.
Thank you, Sammy. Yep, mate. Great to have you here from Mildura. My favourite guy from Mildura. Yeah, look, a lot of positives. I mean, again, we certainly KG has a lot more finals experience than I have, but certainly knowing how to win second games and backing up and making adjustments, and I think it's really important for this group to experience that and for us to be able to review that, but also to experience the environment. And we spoke a bit about that. I mean, you come to Canberra here, and yeah, they've got a fantastic atmosphere. Their fans are passionate. You know, they really rally behind the Caps, and so for us to experience that environment, we did the same at home in our last game. It was a great environment. We played at Hoops Fest, 5,000 people, fantastic environment. So this group's starting to get a feel for being able to perform in front of large crowds. And I mean, most of them have at college anyway, but still, this is professional basketball. It's a completely different feel. So for us to be able to execute in these situations and come away with wins is just great experience for us. So we'll continue to bank that and utilise that in the next 3 games and try to be the best team we can be come finals time.
All right, see you next weekend.
See you next weekend, mate. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.